And if you didn't know, her hair is a glory unto her. Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, welcome. In this video, we're doing 2-strand twists on natural hair. So I'm starting off with clean hair. And the products I'm going to be using is the Shea Moisture Curl Solution and Shine Jam. I also had a small spray bottle on the side. So I started off with clean hair. She washed it last night and we didn't blow dry it. So you can do this on wet hair if you prefer, or on dry hair. Just wet it down section by section. So I started off my first row in the back, and I'm just going to be parting from ear to ear or in a horseshoe shape as it comes around the ear. And I'm going to get more into detail on how I do these twists, so don't worry, okay? I'm putting that product right around the base of her hair, and instead of starting with a twist, I like to start mine with a traditional 3-strand braid, okay? And then it turns into the twist. This helps to me make it look more neat at the root. So sometimes when you start with the twist, it's not as tight at the root. So I like to start off with a braid and then carry it into the twist. So I'm moving on to my second row, and I'm using that rat tail end of the comb. It's very important to get you a nice parting comb. Okay, you normally can find these at any hair store. And if it helps, use a little product on the part as you parting it to lay each hair to the side it needs to be on. And you'll also see me lifting up the hair. This is to make sure that the part is nice and even so I can see what's happening or how thick the section is. All right, so once I parted off that row, I just parted off another section where I'm going to do my next twist. A rule of thumb, people say that you should part so that the twist can lay in between from the opposite row. I hope I'm making sense. So as you part, it should part down the middle of the twist that you just did. Okay, this is a rule of thumb. You don't have to do this. You could line your parts up if you wanted to, or do different shapes like triangle, brick, puzzle. So here you see I've already finished about 4 or 5 rows, and don't worry, like I said, I'm gonna show you more detail on how I am twisting the hair. And I'm still keeping that U or horseshoe shape. I'm going from temple to temple, ear to ear, and I'm just carrying that on around up until I get to the top of the head. Then I switch things up a bit. And again, going in with that Shine Jam on my parts to clean them up, and making sure I take my time, check my section, and go over the part again and again until you get it to perfection or to your likings. All right, parting off my section for my twist. And I like to use the edge booster around the edges, so I added a little bit there. And I'm starting off with a traditional 3-strand braid. And once I feel like I got a good base, I braid on about maybe 3 or 4 times. The piece that is on the right side, I'm going to split that in half and then add it to each of the other 2 strands. So that can turn into 2 strands to twist. Okay, I'm going to show you again. All right, I'm going to get closer and show you again, so don't worry. You're going to get it. So I use some of that Shea Moisture at the very ends to help create and maintain the curliness of her hair. And now I'm going to go in with another twist, okay? And as you can see, some of the parts I actually part with my finger first, and then I will tighten it up with the comb to make it more neat. All right, so here we're going to start off with a regular 3-strand braid. I'm getting my 3 strands. I'm going to go in and I'm going to braid. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 5 times, and I switched over my hand. And now the piece that's on the very right, I'm going to split that in half. I added 1 piece to 1 strand and another piece to the other. You see this? That made it 2. And then we're just going to start to twist. Okay, and I would say this is just like a regular twist, but you want to twist as you twist. If you see my hands, I'm twisting the 2 strands before I twist them together. Okay, you want it to be nice and tight. If you don't, then it will be like a very poofy twist. So keeping it nice and tight helps it to stay more uniform. And as you get to the very end, you can use your finger to twirl it around to help with the curliness. At the end, you want it to look kind of curly and juicy. So use the product and twirl it around your finger to get that curly look. And like I said, it's pretty repetitive, okay? I'm going in again with the traditional braid. If you want to twist from the root, that's fine. But like I said, I believe it looks a lot more clean when you do the braid at the root. All right, so I'm switching over my hand. And that piece that's on the very right, I'm going to split it in half. I'm going to add one half to one part of the twist and the other half to the other to make it 2 instead of 3. And then I'm going to begin to twist it. Twist it in whatever direction you're comfortable with and twist it tight, okay? I didn't do it for this style, but also another tip, if you want, you could also pre-part your sections. A lot of people like to go ahead at the start of the style and part out all the rows that they're going to need first. And then they'll go to each row and part for each braid, if that makes sense. So you part out all your rows and you section them off with either a rubber band, a clip, or a braid. And then that way, once you start to do your braids, all you have to do is part off each subsection. So that's another thing. Some people believe it helps you save time. I am doing my daughter's hair, so I'm pretty comfortable on time right now. But you can also try that and see if it helps you. So now I'm going in with another braid, same steps. Starting off with the 3 strands. When I turn over my hand, after I get that base good, I'm going to split the right piece in half and add it to each of the sections that I had towards the left. And then we're just going to begin to twist it. Make sure you twist each individual strand before you twist them together, okay? You're going to twist and twist. This is how you get the bomb twist. And I did call these mini twists because they are actually a lot smaller than what I normally would do. So I guess it depends on what you look at as size, but to me, these are pretty small. And of course, it could get smaller or larger, and you could use the same technique. So pay attention here. I just parted it with my finger. If you've seen that, I used my finger just to kind of help me as a guide, and then I cleaned it up with the comb. All right. I added my product and smoothed it in, and now I'm going to start off again with my 3 strands. Using this as a base or a stronger foundation. And then once I get that in good and turn my hand over, I'm going to take the piece that's to the right, split that in half. Add some to one side and add the rest to the other side of the twist. And then twist both of those together. So I think as you're twisting it, you will be able to notice in your hand which piece may be fuller than the other. You want it to be even as possible. Both of your strands to have about the same amount of hair in each strand, okay? So as you're working with the client's hair, you can feel when you're splitting the right side, you can feel if one side needs a little bit more hair than the other, or they both can take an even amount of hair. So kind of go with the flow. I'm coming closer to the top of the head, and I just sped this part up because, like I said, it's pretty repetitive. I'm actually just doing the same thing that I told you all over and over again, parting each row from temple to temple or ear to ear and adding in each twist. This style is kind of tedious, so you want to take your time and set aside enough time. All right, so now that we're at the top of the head, okay, I want to go ahead and start with a middle part. So if you already had your parts pre-parted, then you wouldn't have to worry about this. But if not, you always want to stop and go ahead and part the hair down the middle. Okay, this keeps you from getting all the way to the top and realizing that something is uneven. So I like to go ahead and get my middle part in there ahead of time so that I won't have any issues when I get to the top. Okay, so I'm stressing this. Make sure as you get to the top of the head, you stop and go ahead and add that middle part so you can make sure that everything is going to come out nice and even. And once I got the middle part in, I pretty much just continued to do what I was already doing, parting out my sections, starting off with that 3-strand, turning it into a 2-strand, and making sure I use the product and my fingers to give it that curly look at the ends. Most natural hair is already pretty curly, so you shouldn't have too much of a hard time getting the curly look at the ends. And don't forget, if you're working on dry hair, try your best to keep the hair saturated. As you get to that section, you want to add some product. Use a spray bottle to moisten it a bit. You don't want your twist to be dry. So now we are at the very top of the head. I'm on my last few braids, and I didn't do anything different here. I'm keeping that same technique that I showed you all from the beginning all the way to the ending. As you get to the top, you can use the grids on the other side to try to line and match them up with the grids on the side that you're working on, just to keep everything nice and neat looking. These twists are very great all year round styles. They're very great protective and styles that create longevity when you don't want to continue to manipulate the hair. And what I like most about them is that you can style them so many different ways. I'm going to actually do another video where I show you all different styles. There's so many different styles that you could wear your twist in. So if you're looking for a protective or something to get your hair out the way, I would say this is the style for you. Oh, and let's not forget that when you get ready to take them out, that's a whole nother style. It's like a twist out. So look, boom, you get so many styles in one when you do this. Ooh, y'all know that feeling when you get to the last braid victory? I was so happy. Thank you, Lord. Finally made it. Sometimes when you start, you be like, what was I thinking? You don't know how you're going to make it to the end. But when you get to that last braid, it's such a feeling of accomplishment. And so here we are. And I'm just raking through the hair because it's so satisfying just to feel through all the parts and to look at all the neat work that you just got finished doing. So now I'm just taking the spray bottle and I'm spraying the ends because, like I said, I'm really focused on making sure that it's juicy and that the ends are curly. So I just use my hand to scrunch it up and spraying that water on there. You can use a little curling product if you need to, or whatever products that you normally like to use. And then boom, you should be getting these results. Look at it. It's so gorgeous, so full, and just neat looking. I love the mini twist. It came out wonderful. Wonderful. And I mean, it's just bouncy and flowy and just so healthy looking. Like, it's like one of our original styles going way back. And like I said, you can dress this style up or down. It's very versatile. You can do a middle part. You can throw them over to the side. You can do two, but we're not going to get into all that because I'm going to do a separate video. But here she is, just shaking it. It's not stiff anywhere. You see it. It's just flowing. You can feel your scalp, feel the wind breeze through your scalp. Okay, perfect summer style for swimming and just outdoor activities. Beautiful. Okay, and let's get close up and personal because y'all know clean parts are so satisfying. Woo. So here we did one quick style just to show you. Super cute, y'all. Super cute. Get into it. So I hope you all were able to get some type of information or inspiration from this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we will see y'all in the next video, okay? Bless you for watching.